And welcome to the Big Gunner Podcast. Saturday, November 22nd, we finally made one. We're on to you at the right time of the day. And we're going to pick some games today and give you a little bit of insight and then talk about our game tomorrow. So, really tough spot for the team. We're going out to Detroit to play a hungry Lions team who's right now barely on the playoff picture. Unfortunately, I think they're a game behind, or half game behind the Bears. And along I think we're on the same record. I think our game underneath the Packers too. So the Lions on the outside looking in, really bad spot for us. But some interesting parts about this week where it looked like we were going to get Jaxson Dart back. That he was in and out of concussion protocol. That we gave him a full day of practice, but because he's a quarterback, he's not going to get hit. So technically, he was in protocol or not. But I saw some interesting things on the betting line this week. I saw the line opened up at Detroit 11.5 on Monday, and I looked at that and said, no, it's probably the right line. Then it dropped to 10.5, and I'm like, all right, typical sharp will bet the double-digit underdog. It makes sense in that. And then Wednesday, Dart practices, full practice, not limited. And the line, I see some 9.5s, 10s out there. And I'm looking at this going, wow, this is really crazy. And I said, 10-point dog Dart, but no weapons and shaky to start. I still think Detroit's a play. And now, one of the big numbers into this game is that Dan Campbell is the last 13 is covered 13 straight off a loss, which kind of makes you think it's okay. But how many of them is he double-digit favorite? So I would say very few, if any, or is he a double-digit favorite? So I look at that stat and say probably a little bit of shady parts of that think that it's probably not an automatic cover. But now, with Dart playing, yesterday they announced that he's not going to play, and the line shoots up to 13. Wait a minute. Why did that line not see 13 in the very beginning? So now is it an over-adjustment? So now I'm starting to think you take the 13 with the Giants and Winston to say that if our offensive line can hold up, which has played very well against your defensive front, we probably could put points on the board. They've been a little bit hurt in the secondary, although Isaiah Hodgson, who came up and played very well, I thought. We got an old wide receiver back who was part of that 22 playoff team. Scored a touchdown in that game against Minnesota. And I thought it was a good move for us to get him in, but we're going to miss Thibodeau again, and now Dart not playing. So just missing these star players around their offense. And I just don't know if we have enough to produce. So I'm still on the Detroit bandwagon this week. I don't know that I like it at 13, but I'd like it early at 10. And we took a little piece of that. And so we're just kind of playing around with the number, but I'm very interested to see where it ends up. And there's a lot of strange numbers this week. But more importantly, again, Mike Kafka's second game. We'll see how he does game management. And for Joe Schoen in the front office, I think basically this is a game. These are games now with the Detroit, New England, and Minnesota, then Washington, the Raiders, then Dallas to end the season, that we're going to see where the personnel is. The personnel needs to show their ability to play, I think, and that's what Joe Schoen's going to be graded on. What are we going to do with Deonte Banks? I think Deonte Banks might be saving himself a roster spot because of his ability to return kicks. I think he's done a good job returning kicks. He looks like he pushes it up in there, unlike he doesn't push it up in there to make tackles in the secondary, but he does push it up in there when he's returning the ball. So maybe we get lucky and he breaks one. I think he will break one before the end of the year. Mark my words. If he's returning kicks all year and stays healthy, we're going to have a touchdown on a kick return, I think, once this year. I think if they're watching film, they should see that he really explodes with the ball and gets some pace. He's a bigger guy, might be harder to tackle than Gunner, and I think gives us an opportunity for a big play, and who knows. But Winston, again, I like watching him. He was fun to watch last week against Green Bay. We had our chance to tie that game late, and Hyatt breaks off a route that might have been questionable. So we're just hoping that we look for the best. We'll be watching the game. We might even send a post out of maybe a little late, do a video after the game. We're watching it with some friends, maybe even a Lions fan. So, it should be interesting. Hopefully we don't go 2-10. I'd say most likely we do. Then we go up to New England. I think Dart plays in New England. I think on ESPN national TV game, hype it up a little bit. Jaxson Dart's return is in New England. That's my prediction. So right now we're going to sit there and lay the 10 with Detroit. 13, I'm not sure. It might look at a little middle if it goes higher, but that's really kind of where I think these game will go. I'm going to start with the hockey. We've been pretty successful. I'll start picking a little hockey here. If I look at the slate, last night Minnesota was our play, and we hit that going away. Tonight, not sure if they really like anything, but usually NHL big on a Saturday night. Blue Jacket, Red Wings, don't know if there's anything there. Blues and the Islanders. Islanders on a return home after a long road trip. Kind of like the Blues there, getting 115. Come off a good win the other night. Kraken and Penguins. Penguins off a back-to-back, so keep an eye on that. The Devils play the Flyers. The Devils a small favorite. Oilers Panthers rematch of the Stanley Cup. I like the Oilers in this spot for some reason. I think the Oilers are going to come down here with a little bit of an edge after losing 2 in a row. Panthers only laying 130 against another team has been a little disappointment, so we're going to take the Oilers plus 110. Senators out west against the Sharks. I'd like the Sharks there, getting 135 as a high price underdog. Lightning against the Caps, like the Lightning at even money. Rangers Monmouth. Rangers are a little better road team. I think the Rangers plus 105 would be a start there. Golden Knights and the Ducks should be a very interesting game. I like the Ducks here. They've been playing much better hockey. Plus 120. Knights have been having a little bit of struggle. Stars and Flames, probably like the Stars, and they're just a little bit better team after coming off a 4-2 win the other night against Vancouver, playing Calgary, doing that West Coast title run. That's kind of a quick update for you. College slate. We were on Oklahoma against Missouri. We thought the quarterback situation was different, but I guess they're getting a quarterback back, so that kind of might take on the line. Maybe a little change in the line. We're going to check it out real quick. Central Florida, Oklahoma State. I like UCF getting laying 13.5, need a win. Oak State coming down here to Florida with struggle. BYU at Cincinnati. BYU went up from 2.5 to 3. I kind of like BYU in that spot. Florida and Tennessee. Don't like the game. Florida's getting 4. Pitt, Georgia Tech. A lot of people I know like Pittsburgh today. I'm going to go the other way, take Georgia Tech that they hold on and reserve their spot in the ACC championship game with a win late 2.5 with Pitt. Duke, North Carolina, that lines up to 7. Kind of like North Carolina. Smoke and mirrors. 51.5 on a total. I do like the under in that game also. I think it's just a little high for a Bill Belichick type team, but the 2 defensive coaches keep it close. Penn State's laying 8 to Nebraska. Nebraska missing their quarterback. I like Penn State in that spot, playing a little better. Missouri, Oklahoma, it's down to 5.5 now, so that'll tell you the quarterback is playing. So 5.5 will be there. So we'll see what I'm still going to take Oklahoma in that spot, but like that the line dropped. Georgia, Charlotte. I like Charlotte getting 43.5. Heard a stat that Georgia's only 3-19 against the number as a 40-point favorite. So I think that's an interesting number. K-State and Utah. I like K-State just to show up there, getting 17. I know there's some differences there, but I just think just enough players there to keep that a little bit close. Baylor, Arizona. Arizona 6.5, probably a little better, kind of like Arizona. In the big game, Cal laying 3.5 at Stanford. I kind of like Stanford plus the 3.5 in that game. And then Oregon, Southern Cal is the big game out there where game day is. I think that's going to be closer than the expert thinks. I like the 10 there. Thought the line's a little high. Line telling you to bet Oregon, but I'm going to go the other way. Take USC. North Texas, Rice. North Texas playing for a chance to get in the playoff, lay the 18 against Rice. UCF and USF and UAB. Line dropped from 7.5 to 68.5. That total, one of the highest totals we've seen all year. Keep an eye on that total. I do like over, but I don't know if I like it now. It dropped to. It tells me someone took a spot there. Kentucky, Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt's 8.5 over Kentucky. A little bit of a rivalry game. Biggest spread, I think, in that series in a while. Tough spot there. Might like Kentucky as a dog plus 8.5. Syracuse laying 36.5 to Notre Dame. Notre Dame on the bubble here a little bit for the tournament. Can't afford a loss, but a good cover there helps solidify their place in the playoff. Some of these added games you don't see, but one I'll talk about is the total going over in the South Carolina Coastal Carolina game. Kind of like South Carolina, the total I think is 51.5. I kind of like that total to go over. So let me see what it is there. But I'd like the total over in that game. So there's a little bit of a basis of what we've seen in college football. No real big matchup, but we'll be watching the USC Oklahoma game, USC Oregon game. That should be a good one. Pros, kind of like I picked Tampa earlier. I'm not sure now because I thought the injuries were going to start getting. Tampa was going to start getting healthy to skill people, but they're not. Steelers, Bears, we're still waiting on the status. Aaron Rodgers, line still 2.5. I think Rodgers will play. I want to see the Bears win a game against a winning team. So I like Pittsburgh there plus 2.5. Jets, Ravens, 13.5. Total of 44.5. I kind of like under in that spot. a little bit. Don't know if I tell you 13.5. Tyrod Taylor's getting the start for the Jets. Probably a little bit more effective in the passing game. I know Garrett Wilson's not playing, so that's a tough spot. Giants 12.5. We talked about that earlier. Don't like the game. I'm happy I got it at 10. Patriots been bouncing up and down the board. 7.5. I don't know if Burrow's going to play or not. Line telling me no. I like the Patriots in this spot anyway. Seattle 13 over Tennessee. Like the under 40.5 in that game. Don't see a lot of points being scored. Sam Darnold's a little disappointment. Can't turn it over. I think it'll change the way he plays a little bit, knowing that his defense should control the game. I don't think he's going to take risk in the passing game. So I like that. Vikings Packers. This is an interesting game. Packers laying 6.5. They weren't really that impressed with the Packers last week, but J.J. McCarthy struggling. Had him last week, and we got it stuck in us with losing at the end of that game by a field goal. I do like Minnesota plus 6.5. I think the defense will show up, keep it close, low scoring game. Total only 41.5. Colts and Chiefs. Boy, pick the Chiefs on the show, but man, I do like Colts in this spot, but I'm going to take the Chiefs only because of the necessary need for the Chiefs to win the game. So the desperation of the Chiefs tell me that they're going to win. Jacksonville, Arizona, like the over 47.5 in this game, but I do like the Cardinals plus the 3. Jacksonville struggling on these West Coast road trips this year. Browns and Raiders, very interesting. A lot of stuff with Shedeur Sanders starting this game. Kind of like the under 36 in the spot. Just don't see a lot of points scored in this game. Saints, I do like the Saints in this spot. Atlanta 2 against Atlanta. New Orleans will be one of my top 5. I do like Dallas against Philly. Getting 3. Dallas playing a lot better. I just don't. Philly's been struggling offensively, and I think their struggles continue. Now Dallas getting Overshawn back, Quentin Williams in the mix. I think their secondary play a little better, and they're fighting now. They're getting back in. A win this week puts them at 500, gives them a shot at a playoff spot. Rams 6.5 over Tampa. Bet Tampa. I'm still going to hold true with Tampa. Not a real fan of this bet, but they're going to hold true. And then the Panthers plus 7 against the 49ers. I like Carolina Monday night. I just think San Francisco's still banged up on defense. See the total 49.5 going over. Drop. So of the games we're going to pick, we're going to go with the Steelers as pick 1. We go to Lions at the 10 spot as pick 2. We're going to go with the Vikings plus 6.5 as pick 3. We're going to go with the Saints as -2 as pick 4, and Carolina plus a 7 is pick 5. So that'll have it for you. Those are the 5 games for the weekend. Enjoy the sports. Big games this week, and let's go blue. We'll try to get a victory. And I look forward to seeing Dart against New England. That's my big prognostication for this week is I think Jaxson Dart plays on ESPN Monday Night Football. Gets a little vibe here for the game this week. And we got a good look at New England now. They've turned it around. Hopefully we can get a first-year head coach similar to Mike Vrabel. We can turn our thing around too next year. So until next week, go Big Blue.